We're back with another Rush Hour property video. This is episode 4 of my first project. We're in London and we're shooting a video with Ayush, and we're going to go around this property and find out how it made him £40,000 profit.
So I just entered the flat. This is the first floor and I'm presented right in front of me the bathroom. So I look around the bathroom. As you can tell, it's a gold theme. You got the gold taps, gold mirror, gold shower. And one of the same colour scheme runs out throughout the house. So now let's go check out the master bedroom. When I enter the master bedroom, what stands out to me are these grey plug sockets and the gold accents, as it matches with the switches, the gold handles and the radiator. I can tell you use a good joiner because of the architrave that fits perfectly around the door. The skirting is perfectly lined up. Overall, I'm impressed with his room. Let's go upstairs and see what Rocky thinks of the rest of the house.
Now this is where the value has been added. So this room that we're in right now used to be the kitchen, but they've made it into a second bedroom. The first thing I noticed when I walked in was that they've done something a little bit different. So instead of having spotlights, they've put square LED lights, which gives the room a bit of character. Also, to help with storage, they have a wardrobe, which is a necessity when it comes to having flats. Now follow me and see where they've moved the kitchen to. Now we're entering the kitchen, which surprise, surprise, is another Howden's kitchen. Howden's kitchen seem to be very popular with property developers at the moment. As you can see, he's continued the theme of the gold accents as you've seen throughout the house. And when it comes to the flooring, he's gone for herringbone styled laminate flooring, which goes well with the color of the kitchen. Now let's go to the open plan living area. So the chimney breast he originally wanted to get rid of, but he couldn't because the downstairs flat are still using the fireplace. And when he spoke to the contractor, they said that if they drill into it, there's a possibility that they could burst the pipe. So instead, he's decided to make the chimney breast a bit bigger so that he could utilize it and put a bracket and some sockets on there. And in this room, they've also gone for spotlights, which give the room a bigger feel. But now let's speak to Ayush and see how he found his first project.
With the main man now, let me ask you the most important question. What's a breakdown of the numbers?
The numbers, so we purchased a flat for 314,500, and then the stamp on that was about 13 grand, and then the refurb was 33. It was 30 that we had accounted for, but we had a 10% contingency which we went into, so that was 33. And then including finance and legals, everything all in, we were about 370, and then we sold it, offer accepted, for 410.
That's amazing. Congrats on obviously selling your house, your first deal. How did you fund your first deal?
So it was part bridging and then part cash. I had to raise about 100k, and I did that through investors, so family, friends, and anyone I could sort of everyone who knew I was in property. I just went up to them. I was like, I've got my first deal and trying to get some funding across. Here's what I can offer you. What can you give to me, sort of thing.
Could you give some advice for someone who's trying to raise finance?
I would say to document everything, good and bad, and like I'm doing right now, just put out content and show people that you know what you're doing, so they can sort of have confidence in you and give their money to you.
And with your first deal, how did you actually find the deal in the house itself? So
that was so my JV partner, he found the deal and he sort of said, do you want to hop on this with me? And then we just did it together.
Okay. And did you have a vision before the work started of what you wanted the house to look like?
Kind of, yeah. So we actually sat down in a cafe once, and then we went on Pinterest and we were like, okay, cool, let's go with the kitchen first, then we'll decide the bathroom. So once we saw the kitchen and then we wanted gold accents and herringbone floor, style floor, we were like, okay, the bathroom needs to match that. So it all just sort of was a process, but it all just fell into place and worked out.
And did it take you long to be like, this is the design and the final design that we want, or did you change things along the way, or?
We changed a few things. So as I mentioned, this was meant to be longer, but because of the sofa it wouldn't have worked. It would have been too tight. We were meant to move the boiler either here or in the bathroom, but it just took too much of the space. But it's just things that you only notice as you go along. Yeah. Can't really plan for everything, sorry.
And the builders, a lot of people have problems with their builders.
Yeah.
How did you find managing the builders, especially for the first time?
They were alright. They were sick. So they were, yeah. I was literally like to them on the first day. I was like, look, this is my first one. I'm gonna ask you loads of questions. Don't get vexed. And then, so yeah, he taught me literally everything. Every time I'd come, he'd be like, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, and this is how we're doing it. So I knew the whole process and
so we got the knowledge behind it.
Exactly. That's why I wanted this one to be my sort of entry into property and literally learning the process of everything.
Yeah, and is this strategy something that you're going to stick to?
Yeah, so the next one I've secured is another 1 to 2 bed flat. I think it just works so well in London, and it's probably the least capital required and maybe the quickest strategy that you can get in and out of.
What advice would you give to someone who is about to start their first project or who just kind of wants to get into property?
Take action, 100%, because I spent, I think, over a year just learning about property without going on viewings, by the way. So it was just like, why am I learning all this when I can learn it actively while doing certain things? And yeah, going on viewings, you speak to agents, you sort of ask them about the market. Yeah, literally taking action. Go to networking events, meet people, you know, like yourselves, and then just ask them how they got into it and what you can do to sort of be in their position.
See, that's some good advice. You need to take action. Don't just procrastinate.
That's episode 4, done and dusted. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to say a big thank you to Ayush for having us down, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.